Folks, we are in the inside venue of the Quartzite show. It's raining outside, so a lot of people are inside. I love to show off the showcases. I believe all of these artists are from the Quartzite area. Yeah, let's take a look. That, I don't know if it's Quartzite. I would think it's turquoise. It's absolutely amazing. I love that nausea. I don't know if I could pull off those mercury dimes on the side, but the nausea is really cool. I'm thinking about asking my friend Sprite if I could just cast his nauseas. I don't wear a lot of jewelry. In fact, I don't really wear any except for a small Guadalupe, but I could totally rock a nausea, I think. The mercury dimes are a nice touch. Some people aren't really into squash blossoms. A lot of folks are, but the dimes are pretty cool. I used to be able to buy those. I used to go to like a grocery store and just ask them to buy all their mercury dimes, and they'd sell them to me in exchange for dimes. Maybe 15 years ago. Check out that inlay elk. Mother of pearl. The black looks like oxbone. I don't think it's tortoiseshell. Turquoise and spiny on the bottom there. This is from Barb. Trader Barb's. Did Barb make it? I don't know. That's a sweet piece. Turquoise, I don't know what species. And a bear claw. There's a gentleman selling bear claws for $35 here. I don't know if that's a good price or not, but yeah, he didn't want to come $5 down on his claws from what I overheard him talking to another gentleman. That's a sweet nausea, way too glamorous for me. I like the shadow box, I guess, I think that's what you call it, where it's actually hollow around the turquoise, and yeah, those are hollow, the shield shaped things. Pretty classic Danae Zuni Hopi style turquoise and shell inlay. Super cool. Here's just some really nice silver fabricated necklaces. I don't know what the necklaces are called. They're not chains. You know, they're hard. They stick onto your neck without flopping around. Some of these are designed, I believe, like that one, to where you can put a pendant on it. But I think it looks way classier by itself. This video is brought to you by Diamond Pacific Tool Corporation. Diamond Pacific is America's favorite diamond tool, wheel, and lapidary machine manufacturers. For nearly half a century, Diamond Pacific has set the industry standard for diamond lapidary equipment. Join the majority of professional lapidaries and choose Diamond Pacific products such as their Nova wheels, Pixie, Genie, and Titan gem makers, as well as their wide selection of other high-quality lapidary diamond products. Check out Diamond Pacific today and find out why they're considered America's premier diamond lapidary tool manufacturers. Eggshell jewelry, trippy. Handmade with a stylus. Candle, beeswax, dyes, filled and finished with resin for durability. When they mean resin, do they mean like epoxy? I don't know. I think it's super cool. Are they chicken eggs? I don't know. I assume so. I see the eggs over there right now. There's a lady in Taos that works ostrich eggs. She carves them. She's really good. If I can find it online, I'll throw it up here in the video. But yeah, what's really cool about her eggs are when she breaks them, after carving them, she'll sell them broken, and it looks really cool where the egg is carved and the broken pieces are around it. Like, it's still super art, and in a way has a look that might be more appealing to some people than the finished pure egg unbroken. Rock and Gifts, South Lincoln, Jerome, Idaho. Yeah. Jaspers. Stunning polish. I assume this person is using cerium oxide. To the untrained eye, you might think that's like petrified wood. I mean, I know I would. Kind of looks like a brown version of an Royal Imperial Jasper from the Zacatecas area of Mexico. Just some random cabs and a piece of glasswork here. Some are better than the rest. Maybe they just had an empty space and just threw a bunch of cabs in here to fill it out. This one, the dome's not so good and I can see scratches through the glass. But definitely, most likely American hand cut from the wispy tail there. It's not calibrated. Like a lot of the Afghanistan, India, and China pieces. That's a cool piece of synthetic opal there. Pretty sweet. Is that apatite? Like green apatite? Oscar gem fire agates. Space 332, 333, 334, 335. Minerals from Mexico. Is that a piece of Aguascalientes? I don't really know. I think it is. It has an Aguascalientes look. I love those flowers there. That one's more like a sun shape. Very super cool. Yeah, I believe those are apatites. Is that the artist back there? Photo looks like it's from the 70s. No real information, just special award. Is special award like the participation award or like first place show? Special award? I don't know. Chandra, space 479. Some cool beadwork. Those minerals are really cool. Are those muscovite? Honestly, I don't know. Is it wolfenite? I don't know. That's a nice piece of slate there cut into a box. Almost looks like the slate that a lot of natives are carving in Taos, New Mexico. They call it pilar slate. I believe that's wolfenite back there. Very cool. Look at that. I do hear that there is some hematite coming from Alaska area, and that definitely looks like an Inuit native. Yeah. Is that what it is? I think so, but it does say it's made out of hematite. It's a stunning sculpture. Hopefully this camera will be able to zoom in a little bit so we can see it better. But I do remember this person using mammoth ivory to make things like this wheelbarrow or that hammer or those set of scales and that horseshoe back there. I forgot what this is called. Is it called cribbage? That game with the little pegs. Looks like they won a Quartzite award from 1973. Look at that seal. In seal babies, this one is the queen seal though, for sure. She looks the finest detail. Is it scrimshaw if it's not whalebone? I don't know. But I love the little elk and doe scratched carving there. Alrighty. Some Herkimer diamonds, I believe. Diamond Mountain Mining. Look at that. sculpture. I don't know what it's made out of. Kind of looks like hematite. Maybe it's just iron. But the headlamp is a nice Herkimer diamond. If anyone is interested in learning about Herkimer diamonds, check out Just Hercs. Just Hercs is a fantastic group out of New York. Really cool, super hip. They have videos on TikTok. They have a YouTube channel. I'm sure they have an Instagram. I'll put all the information on screen or in the description section below. And they can tell you all about the different types of Herkimer diamonds. They all have different names, like golden healers and stuff like that. They show videos of the mining, and I do believe that they are offering paid digs now if you want to go get the stuff yourself if you're ever in the Herkimer area. This is... yeah, it doesn't say if they live in New York or not, but there's some beautiful golden ones there, some skeleton ones. Skeletal? Is that what they called? I don't know. Some pictures of them working it out. Looks like their camera is just as much as a potato as mine. Yeah. Romancing the Stone. Upstate New York's Herkimer diamonds. Is that a video? Is that a showcase of them in this magazine? I don't know. It is February 2022. So it's next month's issue. It probably is. That article is probably showcasing these people, diamond mountain mining. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful material. We will definitely be going and talking to Just Hercs again this year. They're at the 22nd Street show during the Tucson Gem and Mineral Show. Is this obsidian or is it pottery? I don't know. Love the little turquoise accents. Love the quails. There's a large quail pottery culture in Taos, New Mexico, where I live. It's hard for me to read back there, but I believe they're native. These are some awesome minerals. Los Amigos Minerales, Tucson, Arizona. That's neat. Mexican rhodochrosite. Most of the rhodochrosite, most people know about out and about in the world is from Argentina. Here's some more of it in some kind of black matrix. It doesn't say what the black matrix is. Check out that calcite. I wonder if they had to use some kind of acids to get those beautiful patterns on the side there. White aragonite dog's tooth on agate from Buena Tierra, Chihuahua. A big marble chunk there. Brown Creek agate. I wonder if the stuff my friend Sonny was getting looked like that before they worked it. I think their stuff looked purple from the moment they were cutting it, but I don't think they had to use acid or anything. But this is cool. This seems to be a wide variety of Burro Creek agate. This is kind of the stuff that my friend Sonny was harvesting. That stuff back there almost looks like dinosaur bone. Maybe it is, and it is various rock from the area of Burro Creek. Okay, I do believe that this is Burro Creek as well, and the pink is pastelite. Very cool. Big Sur Jade. There is a Big Sur Jade Festival every year. It did get canceled this year, but I do believe it is now happening again, but they're moving it to October. This is a really unique jade that people are finding in water. It grows with asbestos and serpentines. I don't know if like that stuff eventually morphs into this nephrite jade. I don't know how that works. But my friend Didge goes out there quite often and harvests material. He tells me that there's people who are diving for this material, not just like snorkeling and getting the stuff that might be all picked out. Really cool. It looks tumbled, but I promise you folks, a lot of these are just natural from the ocean. I'm sure you can imagine if the ocean's gonna tumble sea glass, that it has no problem tumbling this nephrite jade.
Yeah, Big Sur jade. I have some of that. I collected some.
Have you ever been to Big Sur?
Oh yeah, I collected some jade. I have a nice big,
stunning.
Big thing.
Have you ever been to the Jade Festival over there?
I haven't.
I want to go. They say it was canceled this year, but maybe moved to October.
Yeah, I didn't find these. Mine is a real rough specimen, so I didn't find the real smooth. So I guess that's
like that one. She's the queen of the rodeo right there.
Yeah, I was curious, like, what is the top Big Sur jade? You know what I mean? Like, what should I be looking for? Because there's just tons at those beaches. You know, you climb down these cliffs, and there's these beaches that, you know, you have to get it on low tide. But there's a lot of it, but I guess I didn't find this, you know, the good source.
Back there, I think she's the queen bee right there.
That would be it.
And I hear a lot of, I've never been, I have friends that go and they tell me if you don't know what you're looking for, you end up collecting a lot of serpentine that might be out there.
Oh, I might have serpentine. I bet I do. I bet I do. You're right. Good to know.
Still nice though.
Yeah, I know. I love
good medicine.
Well, and I just put it in my big plant outside. I like to put big rocks in plants, you know, my big ficus. So, yeah, good energy for that.
Definitely. Have a great day.
Now I know what to look for.
Definitely, yeah. And good luck. If you find a piece, let's make it into something.
Oh yeah.
Armando and Sons, I will be doing a video with them tomorrow. I'm sorry that I didn't get a chance to do it sooner. I've just been busy running around. Armando and Sons are some of my favorite cutters in the Americas. The quality of their material is stunning. Their polish is amazing, and they are not sending it overseas. They are cutting it all in Mexico. It just looks like the quality you would be getting from Hong Kong or, you know, Jaipur, Rajasthan, Philippines. But they are cutting it themselves. I've known Mr. Armando and his son for a couple years now. Very, very cool people. If you don't feel like waiting for me to put out my video of Armando and Sons, you can check out the video I have from the Denver Gem Show and last year's April Tucson show on Armando and Sons. Probably my favorite wholesale cab sellers ever. I love these people. The extra cool thing about Mr. Armando is he's not just hiring people to cut from in Mexico, he's cutting himself for hours and hours and hours. And he shares his secrets. You know he's a cutter because he can tell you what compound he uses on what stone. He can tell you how he cuts each stone. There's no trade secrets on him not wanting to share. Good luck trying to go out there and get the same quality as Mr. Armando yourself that he does. So he doesn't have to lie to you. You can go ahead and try, but it's going to take years and years and years of experience to be able to work such fantastic cabochons like Mr. Armando and his crew in Mexico. This video is brought to you in part by Cutting Edge Supply Company. Cutting Edge Supply is your one-stop shop for all things lapidary and jewelry making tools. Cutting Edge Supply Company has a wide selection of lapidary equipment, jewelry making tools, findings, gemstone rough, and much, much more. Cutting Edge Supply is a company ran by jewelers and lapidaries for jewelers and lapidaries. Check out Cutting Edge Supply. I love them and you will too. Make sure to use product code LapidaryDave in checkout to directly support the channel. Big Dog Opal and Gems, just a nice fine selection of minerals here. Malachite, gem, silica, chrysocolla. That stand is not getting enough light to make it spin, I guess, in here. You can hear the ballasts on the lighting in here. It's probably not the best electricity around. That azurite's super cool. There's a very kind gentleman from Russia with a hook for a hand at the Denver show who gave my grandma some really nice Russian azurite berries. My grandma spent some time in Russia as a dancer, speaks Russian. I think he was impressed and he gave it to my grandma, probably just hitting on her. I think a lot of us have seen like saw blade art, like clocks or people painting on old saw blades, but somebody like put a nice little copper wire wrap on a diamond blade. You don't see that too much. And I would bet money that smaller hole above that big hole there, that the arbor that goes onto the arbor, that smaller hole definitely looks hand drilled, and I bet you that's so that they can get like a screwdriver or something on it so that they could easily take on and off the blade if it was stuck. I've done that in the past for sure. It's not too fancy. The rust is kind of the art, but I love it. But I'm also a lapidary. I'm a sucker for stuff like that. This is it's electricity, where they put the diodes or anodes or whatever, the little pokey things in the wood, get it wet, and then burn the wood with electricity. They do that to skateboards, they do it to guitars, they do it to tables. See that all over the place. I wonder if there's any rocks, maybe softer minerals that you could hydrate and get a similar look in. I don't know. Garnet from the Eastern Sierras. Jack Peters. Sierra Museum booth out back. Well, definitely gonna have to check that out. I wish I knew what these crystals were. I would suspect that they're garnets, but I really don't know. Looks like they shellac it after they do the, is it electrolysis? What would you call that? The electric burning? Seems like everybody down this row has won the special award. Maybe I'll ask somebody, how does one win this special award? I should get my grandpa in one of these cases showing off his art. His stuff is just as good as anyone else's here. He should be. We should bring him a special award ribbon one year. He'd love that. But he's not a competitive man in any way. Looks like Audison material. Definitely the white buffalo. I believe that's Royston turquoise, a big chunk of surface vein, and what do you know? D&T Audison turquoise. Sure enough, I'm getting good at this. That looks like the Alicia turquoise. I have a lot of that I cut if anyone's interested in Alicia. I've cut a lot of Alicia cabs. But besides that and the Royston, I really can't pin anything out except for these Varicites. And is that what they call a blackjack? Which is a Varicite. They're also putting out a Varicite called Black Buffalo now that has nothing mineral-wise to do with the white buffalo, I believe. Does D stand for Danny? Danny Audison? It might. Because I know that he's working a lot out of what I think either the Philippines or Indonesia. Those perfect calibrated bumblebee cabs are definitely not American cut. Danny, who I believe is Danny Audison, who I filmed in my Denver show in 2019, was selling a lot of either Indonesian or Philippine cut calibrated cabochons. And so this might be the same person who I think actually vents inside. Here's some more of that same jasper that looks a lot like the Royal Imperial, but brown. Rocky Scaro? That one right there needs a little bit more work. I can see the scratches from here, but the rest of these are stunning. Much better polish than I get casually. Hard material is hard work. At first glance, I thought those were Herkimer diamonds. But it says it's topaz, calcite, feldspar, hematite. Bixbite? I was under the impression that Bixbite was red emeralds. But it says Bixbite with pink topaz. Maybe the Bixbite's inside. I don't know. These are big bolos for people with big bolo energy for sure. And that's just a straight up slab around your neck. Some of these have an incredible polish, where some of them kind of look like they're just hit with like a compound after like 1200 grit. A lot of old timers still use silicon carbide, which is superior for some stones. Someone would say inferior for others. For instance, I love to cut jade with silicon carbide. I just feel like I get a better pre-polish. But I don't know. There's no info here. That looks a lot like the Chihuahuan flame agate. The piece next to it over there looks like rhyolite. And that looks like bone, but it's probably that same jasper over there that looks like petrified wood. Here's some Kentucky agate from Dave Davis. This gentleman I did get a video with. I don't know if it's going to be up by the time you're seeing the video you're watching right now, but he is a super kind gentleman. I believe this material, he was saying, gets like the black from hematite, or maybe it was the yellow. He gave me a piece after I got done filming, which was way too kind of him. I took a piece that didn't have any black or yellow. Mine was just white and red, and I really love it. Regardless, I don't even think I'm going to cut it because the red is very on the surface. But if anyone's interested in this material, check out that video that I put of David Davis. He's a very cool guy from Kentucky. Yeah, the information, his contact information will be in the description section of that video. A real rock hound. That is odd. So at first, and it might be really hard to see through this glass and through my camera lens, but I thought that was just like some kind of, maybe I thought for a second sugilite or hematite sphere, but it looks like it's a glass ball filled with garnets. The bottom of the case is broken. I don't think you can see it through the camera, but it's really super cool. A sphere filled with garnets, glass sphere. This is Bender's Crafts and Rock Jewelry. Crazy Lace Jasper. Is it from Mexico? I don't know. It looks a lot like the Chihuahuan material. Pastelite? Is that the pink material that's inside the Burrow Creek? Oh, well, yeah, it says right there, Burrow Creek. My friend Sonny actually harvested quite a lot of this material. Everyone I've talked to nowadays is telling me that this material is getting really hard to find. Well, Burrow Creek Jasper in general. I guess the pastelite inside of the Burrow Creek agate is a jasper. It looks really cool, but I gotta say, I like the Burrow Creek better. I'll be sharing a live video with my good friend Sunny Gems sometime soon. If you don't want to wait to buy some Burrow Creek Jasper from him, I'll throw his information, his channel picture up here on the video somewhere, and I'll put his information down in the description section of the video. Him and his girlfriend make amazing art. They are really good miners and ran across some really rare material. Very, very cool people, very kind people. Mukite. I've never learned how to say that. I've seen it as long as I've been in the scene. From Australia. Red Jasper, I don't know exactly where it's from. There's a lot of red Jaspers from all around the world, but I do know that Thunder Bay Amethyst is from Canada. And as of late, there's been a lot of people selling stuff that they call Auralite 23, which I do believe is a Thunder Bay amethyst from Canada. Just someone owns a claim. The story that I heard is that it was owned by a kid, maybe like a native kid. But I hear so many stories, and when I bring them up to other miners, you know, sometimes I get it slightly wrong. Sometimes I'm completely wrong, but I don't make these stories up. And the stories are kind of like a lot of the fun of being in the scene. Doing the investigating is just as much fun, figuring out what's real and what's fantasy and what was a misunderstanding. This is stunning. Ironwood. I do believe ironwood's from Mexico. Does it come from the borders around Mexico? I don't really know. But it is extremely hard. Before I was a lapidary, I was a wood sculptor. And I cut my hands so many times, just shoving the chisels into my hands, wood carving tools, trying to work ironwood. Then I found out using good, high quality, like Palladium burrs on a Dremel is the way to work this material. You're not going to cut yourself as bad using those as you would using hand tools. But there's, it might be hard to see, nice bird out of the top and a snake on the side. But I would bet you money in general it's just using the natural shape of the branch. Are those ironwood beads on that busty bus? I think they are. Actually, I would totally buy ironwood beads. I imagine they're really hard to make in that shape. Someone was telling me that that shape is called a marquee shape. Very cool. This is, looks like it's just a showcase of the quartzite. Not just the gem show, but just all kinds of quartzite stuff. Is this a booth ran by a store that's around here? I don't know, but it has the gold atlas of Quartzite, Arizona. Off-road atlas. No ordinary place. Some bullets. A crystal. Does it come from quartzite? I don't know. A big nodule chalcedony. Some more bullets. And what looks like to me back there, perhaps a holder for a bayonet? I don't know. These are so awesome. I filmed these last year in my walkthrough of these showcases for the Quartzite show. Bubblegum agates. So they look just like what they're called. It looks like ABC gum. Now, I think a lot of the magic is just having a showcase full of them. You know, if you just had those two little pieces right there, you might not even know it's agate. It could probably look like just some garnets you found in the driveway or somewhere. But when you have the whole family like this of bubblegum agates, it's just so ridiculous and lovely. You get to see the wide variation of colors. Some of them you can see the banding. I don't know a lot about agates, to be honest. But there's a gentleman on Facebook and Instagram, maybe even a little bit on YouTube, I don't know, called the Agate Guy, or the Agate Dude. His information, a little picture of his thing will be up here in the video. He is the agate genius. I met him a few times in Tucson. He's just made out of kindness. And he lives and loves agates. He does agate live shows. If you want to know more about agates, I highly suggest watching his videos. Some of these have names. There's the heart. Hot lips over there. The rat. Bill's ear. I think I remember a lot of these from last year's video. Dog bone over there. It kind of looks like a dog waist. But these are just way too cool. The frog right there. These are awesome. I would love a collection of bubblegum agates. Let's see. Does it mention where the bubblegum agates are from? Collecting bubblegum agates. Bubblegum agate is most often collected in the Buffalo Gap National Grasslands of South Dakota near the Badlands National Park. Bubblegum Gap National Grasslands is a national preserve, but it does allow informal, non-commercial rock collecting, which is awesome because a lot of them don't. The Visitor Center at Buffalo Gap will give you a guide. Will guide you to the best collecting spots, which is really kind. I imagine that some of those people probably have thousands of these bubblegum agates. Now, are these tumbled polished? Some of them have a nice glassy sheen. They could all be natural. But I wondered, is it worth tumbling to a super fine polish? Or is part of the love just enjoying them in their natural form? It's a nice piece of petrified wood. Looks really metallic, but doesn't really look polished. It looks like it's sprayed with like some kind of clear coating. And for the price, 25 bucks, I can almost guarantee it. Some more bolas, definitely made by the same guy. Doesn't seem like they're prong set or set with bezels. They're probably glued on there, which is an old style, and they sell just as well to a different type of clientele. This is neat. Around the corner where I was looking at the scrimshaw and the mammoth bone wheelbarrow and stuff, I saw a piece of Montana agate that was satin finished. It's a lot easier than taking it to a full polish, but there's also something really nice about seeing all of these pieces together in a satin finish. They're kind of like pseudo arrowhead shaped. They all are like bezeled sideways around the stone. Very cool. Kind of hard to tell, I bet, through my camera. Carved by Linda Bergerson. Really cool. I wonder, what's her inspiration? Where does she live? That gator is super cool. Made out of serpentine. Like the duck and the penguin, of course, the sleeping penguin. How many times a day do you have to come by and clean them all?
I try to go through after the kids come through.
Oh yeah, not a bad idea. Love that fish. Almost looks like a piece of nephrite jade. Could be something else. It seems to have some chatoyance in it. Looks like there's some fractures in it, but they could be like filled in, healed fractures. Because, you know, if she was able to carve this, it's stable enough to most likely be filled in. That hummingbird back there, it's a little hard to see. I'll try to zoom in. Almost looks like pink lavender jade from Turkey. But there's another material here that someone is selling at Desert Gardens. I think it's really similar. These are some nice malachite sculptures. I see a lot of alligator and elephant sculptures from this material coming from overseas. Back nowadays, I see a lot of really nice gemstone boxes. When I got into the scene, I would usually see lapis ones coming out of Afghanistan, the green ones coming out of the Congo. But now I see like charlite material, turquoise material, a lot of other materials getting made into these beautiful gemstone boxes. I'd like to see a gemstone treasure chest one day. Ooh, California poppy jasper. That stuff is awesome. Super thin cams. The one in the back has a nice big bezel to it. This is from Kevin Ponzio. Hope I'm saying that right. From Plymouth. Really cool stuff. Clock is nice, clear coated, but pretty cool. It'll last a long time. I wonder if the clear coat will start to change colors after many years. But even that, like, I don't know if that's tumbled or if it's natural. Has a great finish to it. This particular case is hard to show because of the lighting. But it looks like there's at least 3 different variations going on between this material. That's a really cool agate, kind of flaking away. Some geodes with some druzy crystallinis. Some nice gnarled looking wood. Almost looks like a mushroom. Some petrified wood. I can custom build a basket for you. Tell me what you want and I'll build it for you. As long as it has nothing personal to you. You do not have to buy it. Oh, awesome. I'll do my best to make it the way you want it. And to communicate with you as it's being built. That is an artist. So confident in their work that if it's not particularly precious, like if it doesn't have like a picture of your grandkid in the middle, this person is probably able to sell it even if you decide you don't want it or if you realize you can't afford it when you're done. Very cool. I respect that a lot. You're seeing less and less of that type of artisan nowadays in the world. I mean, I understand if you're working 30 hours on a basket and they don't want to buy it, it's a little heartbreaking, but I assume it's because this artist knows that they can sell it. Look at that work. I don't know what those seeds are called. I think they're from India. I think my grandma wears one of those seeds whole around her neck. I could be mistaking it for something else. The fine art of coiling pin needle in sweetgrass baskets. And those are some really cool paintings on stone. Like the background behind those polar bears is the natural stone. Same thing with that piece of jasper and that cougar back there. You know, a lot of us have seen stones that look like mountain ranges, and it goes perfectly with paintings. I got pheasant. When I was a kid, I worked on a farm, and the people had a pheasant there that was blind. They claimed it was over 20 years old. I couldn't see anymore, so we had to go feed it. Rocks collected by Astor. There's a person who watches my videos and joins me in my live videos called Astor. I wonder if it's the same person. I've only ever met one, and it was through the YouTube videos, and you know, where you can name yourself anything. So I wish I could do this material more justice, but it's all druzy and botryoidal and amazing growth agates. And it is, if you look up, a nice little layout there with the circles and the material around it. Obviously, I cannot do any of this stuff at the Quartzite show any justice. You gotta come and check it out yourself. Some more native material, native style material. I'm not assuming that it's made by a Native American. The nausea is really cool. It almost looked like calibrated cabochons. It could be wrong. You know, when they're all together and you're standing from a good relative distance, they kind of look calibrated even if they're not. Nice squash blossoms there. So You probably already knew this, and if you didn't, you probably heard me say it before. And if you didn't hear me say it before, I'll tell you again. That the story I heard about najas, they're really popular in the Native American art world. A lot of people think that it's in Native American, unique to Native America. But the story I heard is that they got it from the Spanish, and it was a horse trinket, something that they would put on the horses for good luck. And I heard that the Spanish got it from the Moors, when it kind of makes more sense that way. You know, it looks like an Arabic or Arabic-influenced African symbol. And when I'm at African Village in Tucson, I see a lot of big Naja necklaces, and instead of it being a pendant, it goes around your neck. Also kind of looks like it's something that would be worn by a horse. So that's the story I heard, is that it went from the Moors to the Spanish when they conquered Spain, which I believe was around the 1200s. I'm not exactly sure. From Spain, came to Native America. You know, the Native Americans started using it in their artwork. Not just the Naja, but the squash blossom. The story I heard is that the squash blossom, the images, like what they make and enjoy with the squash blossoms, aren't even squash blossom flowers, but they're pomegranate flowers. Again, came from the Middle East or Morocco, or I don't know if that's the Middle East or just Africa, from the Moors to the Spanish, from the Spanish to the Native Americans when they came here in the 1500s. Eventually, most of us kind of started to believe that it was all uniquely Native American, but heavily influenced by the Moors and Africa. Both the squash blossom, which was a pomegranate flower, and the naja, which was kind of like protection medicine for horses in battle. I could be completely wrong, but I didn't make it up. No, I heard that story from a few people. It's really hard to see from back here, but just the turquoise and the abalone on the super thick cuff, real simple. The inlay doesn't look anywhere near perfect, but it's amazing. It looks fantastic. This right here, that cuff with the simulated opal and all that inlay, I assume it's American, but it's so good that it looks like it could be from Hong Kong or from Taiwan or Philippines. I don't really know. No one's claiming anything as anything in these showcases, but it does look so perfect with those tiny little pieces of simulated opal that you rarely see American artists be able to do that type of craftsmanship. A lot of people think that things are made overseas just because they're affordable. That's not necessarily true, but they are a culture of jewelers and carvers and artists. You know, they're born into it, to where they are just a lot better than a lot of Americans. So you won't always see people commission things from overseas because of the price. It could also just be because of craftsmanship. How many people do you know that can make that? Not more than maybe a dozen, and anywhere in your life. I do believe that it could be American, but I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't. This is definitely Stanley Opalman's. I noticed that from when I was over there. I just know his jars, his Starbucks Frappuccino jars full of black opals. I bought some of those Cooper Pedy Cabajons there, and in my live video last night, someone was telling me to put it in water like that so that they pop up more, so people could see the pinfire more on camera. I didn't have any way to simulate that, but now I know what they're talking about. Stan the Opal Man has some pretty good prices on black opal. I am really iffy when it comes to jar opal in general, Mexican or Australian. His price was 75 cents for some jars a gram, all the way up to $4 a gram. His giant jugs of opals, I believe those were going for $1.50 a gram, and altogether those jugs were $4,530-ish. He didn't really want to negotiate too much, but I'm sure he would with cash in hand. That was the first video I put out of the Quartzite show this year. Check it out. if you haven't done so already. I'll put the picture up on the screen here so you can see the jars and jugs I'm talking about. That belong to Stan, the opal man.
Yeah. Because they need to know this. But that you can't apply.
Check out that necklace. Some kind of jasper. But the beadwork is stunning. It looks like the tiny sea beads might be glass, but the rest are amber, jasper, aventurine, carnelian, onyx. That is a straight goddess necklace right there. Love the flowers and the beadwork. Totally stunning. There's a simulated Sonoran sunrise pendant back there. That looks really, really, really cool. Some adopt opals right there. Pretty cool stuff. This is Quartzite Roadrunners Gem and Mineral Club. Awesome. I wonder if they're just sharing the booth, because I do know that they teach this type of beading over there. Obviously they do cabbing and silversmithing, which is pretty common in the Gem and Mineral Club, but they do more. I think they teach basket stuff over there. They teach the beading. Yeah, more than an average rock club, that's for sure. But it's also Quartzite, Arizona. You can imagine Tucson and Quartzite probably has some of the best Gem and Mineral Clubs in the world. Look at those beautiful simulated opals. This sign says, "Meet Ruth. She is a fine, lovely lady who is very much community-minded and an avid proponent of the rewarding lifestyle." Ruth is fashion conscious. Well, obviously, if she's making this stuff, she must be a real deal fashionista. And presents herself as a strong ambassador for her community, regardless if she is shopping at local dollar stores or attending a public event. That's like my grandma for sure. She is active in several civic organizations and serves as a mentor to others in the many facets of the composite of continued growth and development within the boundaries of her locale. That's just, come on now. Now you're just showing off with your vocabulary there. Ruth represents sophistication in its finest form. I believe that. But you didn't need to hurt my feelings with all those big fancy words.